Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the ThunderCats MiniMates from Icon Heroes and Diamond Select. So these kinda came out of nowhere. They were announced as a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive right before Comic-Con actually happened, and until then, I don't think any of us even knew these were coming. But being a ThunderCats fan, I knew that this was a set that I really wanted to pick up and check out. So the ThunderCats MiniMates come in this blister card packaging, featuring the ThunderCats Classic logo up top, as well as some animated artwork of Lion-O from the original cartoon series, and then it fully showcases all of the figures included in this set within the blister bubble. The back of that package gives us another look at animated Lion-O, as well as some information on the ThunderCats. So this set includes 4 Minimates as well as a bonus figure inside. Included are Lion-O, Panthro, Jaga, Mumm-Ra, and Snarf. Now, if you've ever had Minimates before, you pretty much know what to expect here. These are tiny little 2-inch scale figures, but they do feature some good articulation. They've got a very artistic, blocky form that is the standard style for all Minimates figures. So we'll go ahead and start off by taking a look at Lion-O here. Now, like I said, if you've had Minimates before, you know how the articulation works. They do have little ball joints on the arms there, allowing for good movement, as well as elbow joints and swivels at the wrists. The head is on a ball joint, so it can roll all the way around. The legs can move forwards, backwards. There's joints at the knees, and the ankles can swivel. So, even though they're little blocky guys, you can still move them around quite a bit. The paint job on the figure is really nice and does a pretty good job of capturing the look of Lion-O, even though he's in this blocky form. Here's one nitpick I have to point out about the paint job. You might notice that his belt is missing the ThunderCats logo on this look right here. If you looked earlier, you might have noticed that the ThunderCats logo was there. When we saw him in the package, it was clear as day. Unfortunately, I pulled this guy out of the box, I played around with him a little bit, and that logo just rubbed right off on my fingers. So that's definitely a huge downfall, and I'm not sure why that happens, but it's something you really want to be careful of. It's apparent that the ThunderCats logo is very easy to rub off. Now, aside from that, the figure does include some really cool accessories that allows for some interchangeability. So first of all, he includes the claw glove. And this is really neat because it also can holster the short sword of omens that it comes with. It can just pop right into the side there, and you can see that there is a little peg sticking off of his waist. You can plug the claw glove right onto that peg, and that way you can hang the holstered short sword of omens and the claw glove right from his side, which is very cool. Now, of course, he can also wear the claw glove. All you got to do is simply pop off the regular hand, and then you can put the claw glove on in its place. Once it's on, the short sword of omens can't really be holstered. It doesn't fit at the same time. But he also includes the standard long sword of omens, so you can have that held in his other hand, or you can hold it in the clawed hand. It works either way. And one thing I'm going to note about these weapons and accessories is that they are all very nicely done. They're made of a very sturdy plastic. They've got some great painted detail. The swords are both silver, but they've got the ThunderCats logo painted on the long sword, and the short sword's got the Eye of Thundera. And the claw glove's got a really nice gold paint job with the red little notches on the knuckles all painted in. So the accessories look very nice here. Now, for an extra display option, he also includes a screaming face. So you can just pop off the first head and pop the new one on its place, and you can slide his hair over that. And now you've got a great screaming face, perfect for a ThunderCats ho pose. Alright, next up, let's take a look at Panthro. Panthro is another one that looks great. You can see that he's got some great painted details that help capture the look of the character. One thing I'm going to note is that on mine, the head seems to be a little misshapen. If you look at it from the back, you can see that it's a little uneven and it doesn't fit all the way down on the ball joint. It still holds on and it doesn't look too bad, but it is noticeable enough to point out. However, the articulation all still works very great on this figure, and his paint job is very good, and the Lion ThunderCats logo hasn't really rubbed off of this one, thankfully. Now for his accessory, he includes his nunchuck weapon. They are very, very nicely done. Just like the Sword of Omens, they're made of a very solid plastic. They are correctly painted, so you've got one blue one, one red one, both with the claws on the ends. And get this, it's got a real metal chain. It's a very, very tiny chain, but it is made of real metal. This might be the best made nunchuck weapons for Panthro on any action figure I've ever seen. And they look terrific when held in his hands. So next up is Jaga, or the spirit of Jaga, of course, since Jaga is recently departed in the original animated series. Now, since he is the spirit of Jaga, he is made of a translucent blue plastic, so you can see through him all the way. We can remove his blue cape there, and that way you can get a better look at the clear nature of the plastic used. It's a very, very cool effect. Now, that blue cape, when it's on, it is made of a very, very solid plastic, so it is going to hinder his articulation just a little bit, but not too bad. You can still get some pretty cool poses out of him, and he really does look great. Then, of course, there's Mumm-Ra in his mummy form, the villain of the ThunderCats. Now, he also includes a long robe. It's two separate pieces, so the hood and the cape are separate, and they do fit on the figure well, but they are made of that same very, very solid plastic. So, that is greatly going to hinder his movement. You're not really going to be able to turn his head or move his arms or anything like that while he's wearing this. Now, he still stands fine, and you can remove all that to see him without it, but he does look a little goofy without it, so he looks better when it's all on him. Now, he does include one accessory, which is the black staff with the skull on the top of it, which very much looks just like the one from the vintage toy, so I love that. And he looks pretty great with it posed in his hand there. Now, as a last added bonus, we also get this tiny little Snarf minifigure. He is not posable at all. He's just a solid piece of plastic, but it's really cool because he's still stylized to look like a Minimate. He's got square, blocky feet, his face is round like a Minimate head, and he's just really cool looking. He's got a pretty good paint deco, and still does a good job of capturing the look of Snarf, even though he's a Minimate version of the character. So overall, I'd say that this is a pretty great set of ThunderCats figures. Now again, if you've ever had Minimates before, you know exactly what to expect here. And if you're a fan of Minimates, then I don't see any reason you won't like these. There are a few downfalls, such as the rubbing off symbol on Lion-O's belt. The posability is lacking on the figures with the really hard capes and everything, but otherwise, I'm pretty impressed by these. The paint jobs are overall pretty good. The accessories with these are better than any other action figure version we've ever seen of the ThunderCats, and these guys just look really great standing on your shelf. So, if you're a fan of ThunderCats, if you're a fan of Minimates, I definitely think you should pick these up, because I think you'll be pretty impressed with them. Now, these were offered as San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, but you can still purchase these right now through Action Figure Express. So head on over there and grab them before they're gone for good. Until next time.